Welcome to this Introduction to Using iLrn. iLrn, as you can see, is the name of your online textbook and workbook and learning center. I'd like to show you first what I can see as your instructor. As your instructor for the course World Language French 101, Spring 2015, I'm teaching 2 classes of this course. So when I go onto my dashboard, I actually have 2 classes. I have the class based in Catonsville and the class based in Essex. And when you enroll into my course, you'll be putting yourself into one of these classes. I also will sometimes be using Tegrity, as you can see I'm doing right now, to illustrate. And when I do that, I go into the Tegrity class. So the Tegrity class has only one student, which is me. As you can see, every week when I come online, I can see who's working on time and who has fallen behind in the assignments, and I'll be monitoring that. But let's see what you can see. Go to a student workstation. So every week when you come online, this is the screen that you see. You have your assignment calendar, which you can use in 2 ways. You can see assignment by chapter, or you can see assignments by date. I prefer that you say by date, because I have a little system that I have set up. In my mind, the online class is a bit different from the face-to-face classes, because my students online, oftentimes they're working during the week, and it's really on the weekends that they're working online. So for me, the class always begins on a Wednesday. Our work week begins on a Wednesday. So on Wednesday, you come online. For example, on Wednesday, February 4th, you come online and you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 activities, and you see this little kind of grayish blue icon. And if you look closer and hover over, it tells you textbook activities. So I always assign textbook activities on Wednesdays. Textbook activities are activities that I use in my Tegrity lectures to illustrate. And textbook activities are activities that you can use if you prefer not to listen to the lecture. You can use to complete your learning. You can also, as you can see right now, I've gone from assignment calendar to activities tab. I can also go directly into activities, and I can work down and teach myself as I go. Here's by date. Oh. Refresh assignments. But this is all that there is for this 1 week. And as I said, we're beginning on Wednesday, so we're beginning on the 4th. Let's see what happens the next Tuesday. So next Tuesday is the end of the week. Now you have homework activities. Homework activities come from your student activities manual, and homework activities are always going to have this red icon next to it. The homework activities are the activities that are going to count in your homework grade. These blue activities, which appear again the following Wednesday, signaling the beginning of a new lesson, a new Tegrity class will appear in Tegrity. These activities are not due as homework. However, I encourage you to use them For example, I use them when I'm illustrating a new lesson. I illustrate new lessons through doing the lessons. It's not all theoretical. It's about what you can do. It's what you can say. It's how you can use the new verbs. I will use these to illustrate, but you can also follow along and at times pause the Tegrity and stop and then try to complete the class or try to complete the activity. Oops, what did I just do? Oh, I'm in a totally different one. You can also go directly into the ebook, and once you're in the ebook, you go into the contents, and you can just kind of go through the ebook as if you were going through. Sometimes it takes a while to load. You go through as if you were just opening up a book. So pretend we're in chapitre préliminaire. By the way, this class covers préliminaire through to chapter 3. So say I decide to go through chapitre préliminaire. Each book is composed of 3 parts, and each part has a vocabulary and then a grammar, vocabulary and then grammar, vocabulary and then grammar. And then there's always a kind of linguistics lesson helping you with pronunciation. A little film chapter. Each chapter in your book has a chapter in an ongoing saga, and some cultural links where you learn about different themes and people in the French culture. And not just in France, but as you can see, this first one is called the word, La Francophonie, and it explains to you where people speak French outside of France. As you can see, we begin with the vocabulary. It's called Comment ça va? And here, I can use the interactive features of the book. In this sense, it's not like I'm opening up a book and reading it. Here I can play the text audio. I can review vocabulary by using the flashcards. As I move forward, I have hyperlinks to musicians at times. And this is neat. Here are those textbook activities that we were looking at, those that have the little blue icon in the other calendar of assignments. Well, here I can also access them in the ebook and then click to complete them. Wait, don't worry about that, you won't get that. So I can click to complete them. But again, remember that these textbook activities are assigned, so to speak, just to help you organize yourself, to see how we are moving through the course. They are not considered homework. They are considered part of the learning, the attending of the class, and completing. And you can also use them to study for the midterm and final exams, because I developed those exams based on the textbook activities. Here you have a grammar part of the lesson, and from time to time, you not only have, these little audio links and hyperlinks and links to flashcards, you also have these little film, this little camera. It's like an old camcorder. It's a tutorial. So the book has tutorials that you can use. You can also use simply the book's different examples. You can read. There are many different ways you can study. As you can see, there are also some features in your workbook. There are self-tests you can use to kind of see how well you understand the material. There's a media library in which you have direct access to that film I was talking to you about. And you also have organized for you here practice. So these are different modules that you can use to practice. So for example, You can use flashcards, tutorials, audio flashcards, if those help you. I had a student once who would tape record herself reading the flashcards, and hearing her voice helped her to memorize. You have little test quizzes. You can play concentration. They have a concentration game that you can do online. Let me go back to the assignment calendar. What's really neat about this is, again, you can see your assignments like this. So you see the ones that are due on Tuesday, those are your homework ones. The ones due on Wednesday, these are the assignments that you use. The week begins on Wednesday, and you use these assignments to help you start learning, whether by doing it yourself and kind of self-teaching, or by listening to the Tegrity that I make, and I use these assignments in my Tegrity. You can go to results to see. Now you can see here textbook activities, it's 0% of total because I'm not using those as part of your homework grade. The student activities manual, those are for a grade. And you can check on your results, and when I've graded an activity, for example, when you may go here, préliminaire, you can see if there's any comments, because I leave you comments for some activities. And here I've decided to go directly into the activities. You may prefer to just go through it yourself. These are activities linked to your ebook, not to the student's activities manual. You can go down to Prononcez bien. You have different modules here that help you learn. You have Video Buzz, where they teach you little lessons. It's kind of neat. Enriching your vocabulary. Musique francophone. You have Video Voyage. And you also have this part called Supplément. And the Supplément, these are activities that I have created in the past. And pretty soon I'm going to be creating your listening quiz, which you will have. It'll be appearing around March 4th, so about 1 month into the course. When you take your listening quizzes, you take them in iLrn. And so when it comes time to do the listening quiz, it'll both appear in your calendar and in the supplément. Instead of all of these activities, you'll just have your listening quiz, and you'll listen to an interactive, like an audio link in which you hear me, and then you respond in this little text to a few questions. Okay, I hope that you will be able to find your way. Remember the assignment calendar. On Wednesday is where you click to begin learning, as if, think of Wednesday as, okay, I'm going to go to my class now. I may use the Tegrity class that goes with this, which accompanies these activities, or I may just try to work through it myself, using whenever I need some of the practice and video library links. And then at the end of the week, so to speak, Tuesday, I make sure I complete my homework. You'll notice for the first couple Tuesdays, by the way, so the 10th, the 17th, the 24th, the homework is not a substantial quantity of, you're not going to be spending hours and hours on the homework. That's because during the first couple weeks of the class, I also want you to be looking into other assignments and participating in other activities over in Blackboard, whereas iLrn is an individual space where you're completing your homework and completing your learning. The Blackboard will be our class collective space. And so, if you would like to finish this Tegrity now and move over to the introduction to the Blackboard, it's time.